Have you ever felt stuck? Like really stuck? Not the I'm having a bad day stuck. I'm talking about that deeper thing where you're doing stuff, you're busy, things are happening, but you're not actually moving. You know what I mean? It's like you're a car with the parking brake on. You press the gas, the engine revs, you move forward a little bit, and then you stop. And you do it again and again. And you look around and realize you've been in the same parking lot for months. Tasks pile up, promises you make to yourself just evaporate. And the worst part, you want to change. You really do. But somehow you keep ending up right back here. Yeah, I lived there for a while, and here's what I figured out. And this is going to sound weird at first, but stick with me. I wasn't lazy, I wasn't undisciplined, I wasn't broken, I was fighting invisible anchors. Like, imagine you are trying to sail north, right? You've got to your destination, you know where you are, but you are not moving. Because underneath the water, there are these massive anchors holding you in place, and you're just sitting there pulling on the rope going, why isn't this working? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You just can't see what's holding you back. No one is coming to save you, and the opportunities aren't going to fall from the sky. If you want a different life, you have to be the one to build it. So stop waiting for a lucky break and start creating your own momentum. Today I want to talk about these anchors, the three big ones that kept me stuck and how I learned to cut them loose. So okay, first thing you need to understand about your brain, it doesn't run on willpower. Everyone talks about discipline and motivation like that's the answer, but here's the thing. Your brain actually runs on probabilities. Every single time you do something, check your phone, sit on the couch, open Instagram, whatever, you're carving a little groove in your brain, like a river cutting through rock. And the more you do it, the deeper that groove gets. So next time when you're not even thinking about it, your brain just flows that way because it's easy, because the path is already there. That's why you reach for your phone without deciding to. That's why you end up on the couch when you meant to go work out. It's not weakness, it's just your brain taking the path of least resistance. And here's where it gets interesting. There are things in your life right now, in your environment, in your head, in your habits, that are making certain grooves really deep. They're like anchors pulling you toward the same behaviors over and over. Three anchors specifically, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. Anchor number one, your environment. Okay, real talk. Your environment is not neutral. It's constantly hijacking your attention. You know that feeling when you sit down to work and suddenly you're doing something completely different and you don't even remember deciding to switch. That's not you being weak. That's your reticular activating system. Fancy name, but basically it's the part of your brain that decides what deserves your attention. And here's the problem. It is sensitive to whatever's around you. Your phone is on the table, even face down, even on silent. Your brain now sits there, and every 30 seconds or so, a little part of your mental energy is getting used up wondering, is there something there? Should I check? Maybe just a quick look. It's like trying to run with a backpack full of rocks. You're not trying to be slow, but you're carrying all this weight you don't even realize is there. So here's what I did. And I'm not saying you have to do exactly this, but I got radical about it. I made a list, everything that grabs my attention without me deciding: phone, social media, searching spots in my apartment. And I color coded them. Red, stuff that hijacks me in seconds. Like I see it and I'm gone. Yellow, things that distract me. Sometimes, but not always. Green, stuff that actually helps me focus, or at least doesn't hurt. For the red stuff, I created what I call the 3-0-3 rule. 3 barriers, 0 presence during my critical hours. 3 green things visible instead. Like my phone. I used to tell myself, oh, I just need more discipline. I should be able to have it nearby and not check it, right? That worked great for about 20 minutes. So I changed the game. 3 barriers, different room in a drawer, airplane mode plus deleting the apps that eat my brain. Is it extreme? Yeah, maybe. Does it work? Absolutely. Here's another one, and this is going to sound specific, but maybe you relate. I used to have this Spotify playlist and certain song on it. Man, they would just pull me into the past. Like I'd hear the first few notes and suddenly I'm back in this memory, sitting there feeling everything all over again. 30 minutes later, I'd snap out of it going, what just happened? Those songs were anchors, emotional anchors, yanking me backward when I was trying to move forward. So you know what I did? I deleted the whole playlist. Just gone. And I made a new one, but this time only songs that made me feel good. Songs that made me want to get up and do something. Music that pushed me forward instead of pulling me back. Because here's what I realized. We don't have to sabotage ourselves. We can keep the tools, keep Spotify, keep the phone, keep whatever. We can redesign how we use them. Turn the anchors that hold us down into ones that pull us forward. Think about restaurants for a second. They don't trust you to be disciplined. That's why they put the bread basket right in front of you. They are not hoping you resist. They are designing your behavior. Your environment is doing the same thing to you right now. The question is, who designed it? And are you okay with what they choose for you? So here's what I want you to do. Just one red anchor, pick one thing that steals your attention, and for the next 48 hours, make it physically impossible to access. Not hard, impossible. Don't tell me you're going to try, don't tell me you'll use willpower. Just remove it from the game board. See what happens, okay? Anchor number 2. This one's sneaker. Your thoughts. Look, your brain is incredible. It can simulate anything. Past, future, alternate timelines, worst case scenarios, that conversation you should have had differently. All of it. It's like a movie projector that never stops running. The problem is most of that simulation is useless. And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean it literally. Most of your thinking is about stuff you can't control right now. It's mental energy getting burnt on scenarios that either already happened or haven't happened yet or might never happen. There's actually a term for this, cognitive rumination. Harvard did a study on it. They called it the wandering mind, and found that we spend about 47% of our waking hours thinking about something other than what we are doing. 47%. Almost half your life spent somewhere else. I used to do this constantly. I'd be sitting there, supposedly working, but really I'm rolling simulations. What if this project fails? Why did I say that thing yesterday? How am I going to handle this situation next week? Round and round and round. And the worst part, it feels productive. It feels like you're problem solving, but you're not. You're just spinning. So I need a way to break that loop. And I'm not going to tell you just stop thinking about it. It's useless advice. Instead, I use something I call the PARA system. P, pause. When you notice you're stuck in a thought loop, just say it out loud. I'm thinking about X, something. Literally say it. Even whisper it if you're around people. Something about naming it out loud breaks the spell a little bit. A, physical anchor. Put your hand in your chest. Feel it rise and fall 3 times. Breathe. This isn't woo-woo stuff. This actually activates your vagus nerve, which basically tells your brain, hey, we're not in danger. We can stop simulating. R, redirect with a question. Don't try to stop your thought. Instead ask, what's one thing I can actually do about this right now? Notice I said right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. If the answer is nothing, and sometimes it is, then ask yourself, when is the right time to think about this? And write it down. Put it in your calendar. Give your brain permission to let it go for now because you've scheduled time for it later. A, minimum action. Do the tiniest possible thing. Send 1 text, write 1 sentence, walk for 2 minutes. Something, anything. Just reconnect your brain to the real world. Think of your mind like an old radio that won't turn off. There's always going to be a static. Always the thoughts aren't going to stop. But you're not the radio. You are the person who gets to decide whether you turn up the volume or just let it play in the background. What you do, what matters. That's what diffusion means. Not silencing the noise, just unhooking from it. Recognizing that thoughts are thoughts. They are not orders. They are not truth. They are just electrical signals. Here's something that helped me see my patterns. Every night before bed, I write 3 lines in a notebook. 1. What thought was I trapped in today? 2. Did I have control over that thing in that moment? Just yes or no. 3. If no, what did I do instead? If yes, what action did I take? That's it, 3 lines. You do this for a week and you start seeing the pattern. Like, oh, I spend every afternoon worrying about this thing I literally cannot affect. And once you see it, you can start changing it. Your thoughts are an anchor and they're heavy, but they're only as heavy as you let them be. Okay, anchor number 3, and this is where it all comes together. Action, or really the absence of clear action. So you've cleaned off your environment, you've calmed down your brain. Now most people make a huge mistake. They set goals. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to learn Spanish. And look, I get it. Goals are important. But here's the thing. Those aren't actually goals. Those are outcomes. And outcomes are mostly outside your control. You can't control whether your book gets published. You can't control if you get injured halfway through your fitness journey. You can't control if life throws something at you that derails everything. What you can control, who you decide to be today, not who you want to become someday. Who you are right now, in this moment. Let me show you what I mean. Instead of I want to write a book, the identity is I am someone who writes. Instead of I want to get in shape, it's I am someone who moves. See the difference? One is about a far off result, the other is about who you are today. So here's the system I use. It's simple, 3 parts. Part 1, pick your anchor identity, just one. What type of person do you want to be in one area of your life? Not what you want to achieve, who you want to be. Part 2, create a ritual that takes 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes. If you are a writer, open your document and write 1 sentence. If you are someone who moves, do 10 squats. If you are an organized person, make your bed. That's it. That's the bar. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe that's too small. That won't make a difference. But here's what neuroscience tells us. Starting is the hardest part. Once you start, your brain releases dopamine. Momentum builds. And suddenly, that 1 sentence becomes a paragraph. Those 10 squats become a workout. But you have to start, and 2 minutes is small enough that you can't talk yourself out of it. Part 3, stack it. Don't just say, I'll do this at some point today. Your brain will forget. Mine does it constantly. Instead, attack it to something you already do every single day. After I pour my coffee, I open my document. After I close my laptop, I do 10 squats. After I brush my teeth, I write in my journal. The existing habit becomes the trigger for the new one, and boom, you've got a system that runs on autopilot. Oh, and one more thing. Get a physical calendar, like an actual paper calendar. Every day you do your 2-minute ritual, mark an X on that day. Your only job, don't break the chain. You know who Michelangelo was, right? The guy who sculpted David. He didn't wake up every morning thinking, today I will complete my masterpiece. He woke up and hit the marble. That's it. Day after day after day. Just showing up and doing the work. David wasn't the goal. David was what happened when he became a sculptor every single day. You don't need to achieve, you need to become. The results will follow, they always do, but they follow identity, not intentions. Okay, so let me tie this up. You got 3 anchors. Your environment. Redesign it so the right paths are easy and the wrong ones are hard. Your thoughts. Learn to unhook from the simulation and redirect to action. Your actions. Become the person you want to be, 2 minutes at a time. Here's what I want you to do for the next 7 days. Days 1, 2, to the environment sweep. List everything that hijacks you. Pick your biggest anchor and create 3 barriers. Take a before picture of your space. Days 3 and 4, practice PARA 3 times. Set alarms if you need to. Start your 3-line journal at night. Days 5, 6, 7. Pick one identity. Create your 2-minute ritual. Stack it with something you already do. Mark your calendar every day. That's it. 7 days. And if you mess up one day, because you will, we all do. Here's the rule. Do your 2-minute thing within the next 5 hours. Just don't let the groove fade. Look, being stuck isn't a character flaw. It's not some deep psychological problem. It's just you're trying to sail with anchors you cannot see. Cut them loose and everything changes. Not overnight, not dramatically, but little by little. The probabilities shift. The groups get deeper in the right places and fading the wrong ones. And one day you look up and realize, oh, I'm not stuck anymore. I'm moving. Try it. 7 days. And then come back and tell me what happened. I know some of you are going to try this and it's going to click. You're wrong with it and you won't need anything else. That's awesome. But I also know that some of you are dealing with deeper anchors, the kind that are tangled up in years of patterns, maybe some stuff you can't quite see on your own. And that's okay too. That's actually pretty normal. If you go through this 7-day thing and you're still feeling stuck, or if you realize your situation is more complicated, I do work with people one-on-one. Sometimes it helps to have someone else look at your map and point out the anchors you're missing. Send me a DM on Instagram if that sounds like something you need. No pressure, just if you want that extra help figuring out your specific anchors and building a system that actually fits your life. That option exists. Alright, let me know how it goes.